and we're going to jump straight in by looking at what we mean by a balanced diet. Okay, so I'll look at that. First, we will move on to look at metabolism and deficiency diseases and what happens if you suffer from malnutrition. But for now, let's start off with what we mean by a balanced diet. And I'm going to talk to you about the different nutrients found in your food. And we'll start off with protein. Okay, so protein over here is found in foods such as meat, fish, eggs, other types of dairy products, nuts and lentils and pulses, which are these kinds of food types here, and also in chicken as well. Okay, so that's where you'll find your proteins. Now, proteins have a very important job in the body. They build new tissue. Okay, I'm not happy with that there. It's not very neat. Okay, so proteins build, that's marginally better. Build new tissue, and that is really important if you are growing. So if you're under the age of about 18, yeah, you're going to be growing, and you'll need lots of proteins to help you with that. But also, it's required to repair damaged tissue. So if you fall over, hurt yourself, or cut yourself, you're going to need proteins to help repair that damage done to the tissue. Okay, it's probably worth mentioning here that proteins are made up of what we call amino acids. Okay, and these are the building blocks that build proteins that your body needs. Okay, so it's quite an important point right there. The next type of nutrient is carbohydrates, and I've got a picture of some carbohydrates here. And carbohydrates are found in foods such as rice, pasta, potatoes, and bread. You can also find carbohydrate in sugars. Okay, but the job of carbohydrate is to provide energy. Okay, and sugars or foods with sugar in provide it quite quickly and gets into the body quite quickly to provide that energy. Other foods like rice, pasta, potatoes, mainly the ones that are in that picture, provide the energy, but they provide it slightly more slowly. Okay, so they're required for energy, and they're found in the kinds of foods that we outlined. The next one is, let's just link that up to our key point down here, key word down here. The next one is fats, and fats are found in foods such as these. Okay, so we've got butter, margarine, looks like we've got various types of butter here, maybe some lard. That word makes me laugh every time I say it, I don't know why, but it does. And oils. Okay, and of course any foods that have oils or butter in them or are cooked in lard will contain a lot of fats. Okay, so what's the job of fats? Fats also provide energy, but they provide stored energy. Okay, so if you eat food with fats in, there's a good chance that that fat is going to be put away for use at a later time if you're not eating carbohydrates. Okay, fats do have another job in the body, or a few other jobs in the body, but for now let's just link it to it being a source of stored energy. Okay, the next one I want to look at is water. Okay, and all chemical reactions that happen in the body happen in a watery environment, so it's very important. You may have heard that about 2/3 of your body weight is water, and the reason we need it is because all chemical reactions that happen in the body happen in a watery environment. Okay, and without it, those chemical reactions wouldn't happen, and that would cause major problems for you. Okay, so the next one I want to look at is fiber, and this helps you to, how can I put it? It's actually not a nutrient, it's actually not absorbed and taken in by the body or by the blood and used in the body. It actually is only there, or its only use is to help prevent constipation, okay? And that is when you can't remove poo. That's not the science word. The science word is feces. Constipation is when you can't remove feces very effectively from your body. And what fibre does, and it's found in, just note this down here, I haven't done that for the others, but veg and fruit amongst a few other things. Okay, but it gives bulk to your feces, makes them the right kind of texture to allow your body to remove them easily and quickly. Okay, and the last one here, vitamins and minerals, I put them together and they're required for general health. Okay, or you might say healthy functioning of the body. And in terms of vitamins and minerals, you can't actually get energy and substances to build new tissue. You can't just live on vitamins and minerals, but you'll soon know if you don't have enough of these because you'll suffer from what we call a deficiency disease. Okay. Now the important thing about this is that if you don't have a balanced diet, you can suffer from what we call, let me put it down here, malnutrition. And malnutrition can lead to you being overweight or underweight. People often associate malnutrition with being underweight, but it actually can be overweight or underweight. Okay, if you don't get enough of your vitamins and minerals, you could suffer from deficiency diseases. That's diseases that arise from you not having enough of those. And of course, as I mentioned, if you have too much fat, you could end up being overweight. Too much carbohydrate and not enough exercise could lead you to being overweight. Or if you're not getting enough of these types of nutrition, it could end up you being underweight as well. Let me just highlight that a little bit by this diagram here. I've drawn my little character here. Should we give him a name? Why not? Let's call him Freddy. And hopefully that doesn't offend any Freddys out there watching the video. But this is Freddy, and these arrows represent the amount of energy that Freddy either takes in or uses throughout a day. The large arrow means more energy, the smaller arrow means less energy. So Freddy, you can imagine, is taking in a lot of energy compared to the energy that he's using up. And this is going to lead Freddy to being, as you can imagine, over a period of time, overweight. He doesn't seem too disappointed by it, but this is what can happen if you have more energy coming in than going out. Okay. The opposite scenario over here is Freddy is taking in more energy compared to the energy that he is using, and that's the same scenario as before, and that's not what we want. We want it this way around. I don't know why it does that funny thing. Not adjusting properly, but here we go. The amount of energy going in is less than the amount of energy Freddy 2. Than the amount of energy coming out. So that could be as a result of lots of exercise, a very active lifestyle, or actually not eating enough food. And as you can imagine, over a period of time, Freddy 2 will lose weight. Okay, so that's quite simple. Take in more energy than you use, you're going to put on weight. Use more energy than you take in, and you're going to lose weight. I said lose weight over here, I meant gain weight. Okay, let's just put that down there just to avoid confusion. Okay, and this there actually is the secret of dieting. If you want to lose weight, the secret of it is make sure the amount of energy that comes out is less, or the more energy you use is more than energy that you get from your food. And that can be done by having more exercise and taking in less calories. And that really is the secret of dieting. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk to you about, or almost the last thing I want to talk to you about, is metabolism. And metabolism is a total, or all the total chemical reactions that are happening in your body as we speak. So even while you're sitting there watching this video, there's lots of chemical reactions that are going on in the body, and they require energy. Okay, now I've got two people here. This person here, let's just say for argument's sake, has a high metabolism, and this one, for argument's sake, has a low metabolism. Okay, and it's affected, your metabolism is affected by various things. Now, the first thing we're going to say is it's affected by the amount of exercise you take. Okay, so this person doesn't exercise very much at all, and this person exercises lots, and so this person has a higher metabolism. It's also affected by genetics. Okay, and unfortunately you can't do anything much about that. If you've inherited genes that mean you have a high metabolism, that's the way it is, and if you've inherited genes that give you a low metabolism, that's the way it is. Okay, it's also linked to the amount of muscle to fat ratio in the body. Okay, so if you've got a high proportion of muscle actually has or requires more energy just to sit there doing nothing compared to fat. Okay, so if you've got a high proportion of muscle to fat, then you're going to have a higher metabolism, and that can happen as a result of exercise, and it can unfortunately just be luck of the draw if you're male or female. Okay, females, let's make actually this one over here just to highlight the point. Females, on the whole, in general, have a lower metabolism, and that is because females tend to have a higher fat to muscle ratio in their body. That's not me trying to offend anybody, it's just in general, on average, that's the way it is. Of course, if this female does lots of exercise, watches her diet carefully, and that sort of thing, she could possibly have a higher metabolism than the average male who perhaps doesn't do those sorts of things. Okay, so gender is the other thing that affects your metabolism. Okay, so that's basically the key ideas behind metabolism. And the last thing I want to quickly talk to you about is linked to malnutrition, is this idea of cholesterol. And cholesterol is a type of fat that's required in the body to make cell membranes, the cell membranes of your cells, but too much of it can lead to blocked arteries. Okay, so if you imagine there's one of your arteries, okay, and it's specifically the ones around the heart. If you have a high level of cholesterol in your diet, that can end up with these being the green there being cholesterol, blocking the artery and restricting the amount of blood that can flow through the artery, and it could lead to heart attack. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was a disease called type 2 diabetes. Okay, and this can be linked to being overweight, and this is a disease where you cannot control blood sugar. Okay, and it's a result of insulin not being recognized by the cells in the body, or not working with the cells in the body to take sugar out of the blood, and that can lead to problems linked to this disease called diabetes. Okay, so I'm out of time now, but please do have a look at the notes from the website and try the exam questions, and have a look at the mark scheme if you want to. Thank you.